talk about some common ports that we need to know. So first is port 21 and port 20, which is used for FTP or file transfer. So if you download some file from the internet, it's usually using HTTP these days, but in the old times, it used to use file transfer protocol. So that is what it's used for. Like port 20 or port 21 are reserved. So only FTP traffic can flow through them. Every port number that has been given here is only reserved for the traffic that they specifically allow. Port 22, you're going to be using this a lot in the hacking world. It's called the SSH or the secure shell port. So what SSH allows us is to basically get in touch with another computer over the internet. It's basically like TeamViewer, but for terminals only. So you can understand SSH as that. You can use SSH to get inside the system of any other computer all over the internet. But you have to open the port 22, and all the data of those connections flows through the port 22. Then we have port 53. We already know what domain name servers are. So even a computer can have a domain name server built into it. So they use the port 53 to translate IP addresses into, web addresses. Then we have port 80 and 443. Port 80 used to be the most popular port. In fact, I believe it still is. So it is used by Hypertext Transport Protocol or HTTP, the thing you see before every website you see these days. So basically every website is hosted on a web server and they use the HTTP protocol, and the HTTP protocol requires the port 80 to be open. Well, then we have HTTPS. If you think about today's times, we have the HTTPS protocol, which in the S stands for secure. So basically we have Hypertext Transport Protocol secure, and that uses a different port, which is called 443. We could not override if you think about it, you could have just said, why didn't we add the secure to the port 80 and, we would not have two different ports to remember. Well, you have to remember some websites still do not use, for HTTPS. They only use HTTP. And instead of breaking their functionality by fixing the port, we use a different port for HTTPS so that the old websites will still work in your browser without breaking the current ones. So those were look at some common ports. And I believe this wraps it up. We had a lot of things to discuss in this course. You can always come back to it and study some, and you can always find online notes about something that you're not sure of. If you want to learn more about it, I would highly recommend learning about the OSI model.